The two greatest commandments at work, how love redefines success. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm the co-founder of Kingdom Impact Lab, and in this video here I want to explore how and why we should have love as one of the core foundations on how we operate in business and how we operate in life. So in Mark 12 verses 29 to 31, the essence of the message there is to love God and love people, and the reason is because when we do, we will become channels of God's love to people in our places of work. So what exactly does that mean, and why is this important, and how can we apply it? So one of the core principles that we can incorporate into the way that we act, behave and do things on a day-to-day basis is to operate out of extravagant love. If you've heard any of my other videos, you hear me talk about how to pursue becoming Christ-like in everything that you do, in your day-to-day activities, in each decision that you do on a moment-to-moment basis, which includes the pursuit of excellence, the extravagant love in everything that you do. It involves having integrity, operating on radical generosity and a mindset of humble service. And we need to proactively try to do these things in our moment-to-moment decisions, because if we don't, the spirit of the secular transactional marketplace workforce business is going to influence us on a subconscious level, and it's going to direct our decisions. And the spirit of the marketplace business world, transactional environment, is pretty much rooted in making money and making as much money as possible, which, you know, the making money is not a problem, but idolizing and worshipping money and the pursuit of it above everything else is a problem. And when this happens, it creates the top-down structure where every interaction from the very top down always has the transactional mindset, the transactional part of it influencing all the decisions. So what I mean is that if your main goal, main priority is to just make money alone in the business, that will inevitably trickle down into all the decisions, which ultimately will result in you treating your employees, contractors, freelancers, vendors, the people that you work with, your clients, your prospects, as basically as some kind of a transaction, where it's always, what can I get from this interaction? How can you give me the biggest return on investment? How can you give me the best cost per unit of time, and all of these things, which ultimately reduces the human value and the humanness of the people you interact with, completely degenerates and moves it out of the equation at all. And we stop treating humans like humans made in the image of God, and instead we just treat them as commodities, as tradable things, as ways that we go into interactions looking at things of, how can I leverage this interaction here to my own benefit, to serve my own self-interest? And that is essentially what the secular transactional marketplace business world workforce is about. And I know that, you know, inside out, because that used to be me. It used to be me as a freelancer while I was providing high-ticket copyright services to clients. It was also the same for me when I had my marketing agency, which ultimately ended in disaster for me. And I made all of the mistakes. I did everything I possibly could, which which was to try to get leads into my business, where it was all cut and paste templates. It was all basically trying to treat every person that I got in front of as a way of how can I make money from you, and that's probably one of the big sins that I committed in work and business before. And so the point is that that's what the secular transactional marketplace workforce business world is like. We cannot change that as such, and that spirit will infuse into your subconscious and drive your decision making if you don't proactively do something about it, which is why it is so important to adopt, at least have some kind of a personal mindset that whatever you're going to do, you will do it in the pursuit of Christ-likeness in all areas of your life, because then at least you are controlling what you do in each moment of time, and you are then acting in a way that aligns with your faith and it having an internal impact on things, rather than just reacting to what's happening around you and kind of being pulled away from your faith and being pulled in a direction where you view going to church as one part of life, and then on the other side of things, that work and everything else, completely two different things, which results in the contradiction between what you do in your heart and what your actions are outside. That's the why. So what is the how? Well, the how is to adopt a mindset of acting out of extravagant love in everything that you do. And what this means is, or one thing that I try to do on a day-to-day basis is, it's to ask myself, what can I do today to be the biggest blessing possible to as many people as possible? And I use that mindset there, that approach there, to then dictate what I want to do when I record videos, what I want to do when I'm working with people on my team, what I want to do when it comes to doing various outreach efforts and different things. And the goal then is not necessarily how many conversions am I going to have. It's more along the lines of how many people can I have a positive impact on today. And when that drives your motivations for the day, instead of just hitting KPIs, sales targets, metrics, revenue goals and all of this stuff, at least you're controlling in your little world and your sphere of influence, and you are doing things that are operating in a positive way. And that's basically it. Another thing to consider here would be how to implement it. So this is something that I just took in my notes, and if you have the pursuit of excellence with the goal of being the best that you can be, to deliver the best service you can, to have the biggest impact, influence, be the biggest blessing to the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis, and you have integrity, so you do the things that you say you do. Integrity to me would also mean that you are aligned with what's going on in your heart and who you are as a person with what's actually happening outside in the world as well, in the way that you behave. And one interesting definition that I wrote down here is that excellence and integrity is love in action. So those are three things that you can do starting right now. To number one, it would be to ask yourself, how can you be the biggest blessing to everyone that you interact with today, and use that as your North Star to determine what you're going to do in a decision basis, whether it's content creation, talking to prospects, dealing with clients, whatever it is. You adopt the mindset of the pursuit of excellence, and you do everything to the best of your ability all the time, or at least you try your best to, even if no one's watching, and even if no one will notice if you cut corners, you still pursue your best anyway, and you try your hardest to make sure there's alignment between who you are here and who you are as a person and what you're actually doing. And when you apply those three things in your day-to-day decisions, in your day-to-day actions, you will be incorporating biblical love into everything you do in business, the workforce, and life itself. That's all I've got for you. See you next time.